I wasn't planning for this to be my next video, but I came across a very interesting article and I'm going to be reading it. It is about Frankie and Jodi Hildebrandt being sentenced. Now, if you haven't heard of Frankie or Jodi Hildebrandt, they were both arrested for some pretty horrific child abuse, and I won't get into that. There's a lot of information on YouTube and Google. You can do a quick YouTube search and that will give you pretty much all the information on how horrific these two carbon-based life forms are. So I'm going to read this article verbatim. Reader discretion advised. On February 20th, 2024, family vlogger Frankie and her unlicensed counselor Jodi Hildebrandt were both sentenced to 4 consecutive counts of felony aggravated child abuse following their arrest on August 30th, 2023. On February 20th, family vlogger and disgraced mother Frankie was sentenced to up to 30 years in prison alongside her unlicensed counselor and cohort Jodi Hildebrandt, or Jabba the Hildebrandt as I like to call her. Both women were originally charged with 6 counts of felony child abuse back in August 2023. The arrest followed the escape of Frankie's 12-year-old son from Hildebrandt's home in Ivins, Utah, and seeking help from a neighbor. The child was found emaciated and covered with open wounds and duct tape still around his wrists and ankles. Following the boy's escape, police found Frankie's 10-year-old daughter in Hildebrandt's home, who was also injured and malnourished. For the past 4 years, I have chosen to follow counsel and guidance that has led me into a dark delusion, Frankie stated during her sentencing at the Washington County 5th District Courthouse. To my little chicks, I can see now, over the past 4 years, that I was in a deep undercurrent that led us to danger. She would continue to explain to the court that she was deceived by Hildebrandt into thinking that the world was an evil place and that her children were possessed and in need of repenting. Frankie and Hildebrandt both entered a plea deal in December 2023, pleading guilty to 4 of the 6 felony counts they were both charged with. Following their guilty plea, Frankie and Hildebrandt's agreements were made public, revealing more details of the barbaric and horrific torture Frankie's 2 youngest children were subjected to. The contents of the plea agreements are summed up as follows and should be read with discretion. According to the documents and prosecuting attorney Eric Clark, both children were in a concentration camp-like setting, regularly denied food, water, beds to sleep in, and virtually all forms of entertainment. The plea agreements also go on to describe that both of Frankie's 2 youngest children were forced to labor outside in the desert without shoes and stand for days at a time in the summer heat, resulting in severe sunburns. The youngest of the 2 was forced to run barefoot on roads and repeatedly jump into a cactus. The 12-year-old boy was kicked repeatedly by his mother while she wore boots, had his head held submerged underwater, and his oxygen cut off by having his mouth and nose covered. Both children were regularly told that they were evil and possessed, and that they needed to obey and repent, and that actions being done to them were acts of love. After an attempt to escape in July 2023, the oldest of the 2 was regularly bound with duct tape, handcuffs, and weights to prevent him from escaping. Nonetheless, he did escape on the morning of August 30th, 2023, and went on to one of Hildebrandt's neighbors for help, saving himself and his sister. "I sincerely love these children," Hildebrandt said before she was sentenced. "I desire for them to heal physically and emotionally." Hildebrandt allegedly has a record of misconduct dating years back. She has allegedly shared privileged information with the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints about her then-patient Adam Paul STEED, subsequently destroying his career and reputation by painting him as an abuser. These allegations also included subjecting her own niece, JESSI Hildebrandt, to similar horrors that Frankie's children endured. Due to a 2002 Utah Criminal Code 76-3-401, Frankie and Hildebrandt will serve no more than 30 years in prison as the code prohibits consecutive sentences from exceeding that limit. Additionally, the amount of jail time is not set in stone, as both Frankie and Hildebrandt will have the opportunity to meet with the parole board after 4 years of time served. Ruby Frankie's ex-husband, Kevin Franke, with whom she documented her life on their YouTube channel 8 Passengers, filed for divorce. His attorney spoke on his behalf following the motion, saying in an interview with Today, he is focused on doing what is best for his kids at this point. Yeah, right. You know, this turdball even tried to get his own daughter arrested, so anyway, back to the article. However, longtime followers of 8 Passengers and many in the general public have taken to social media to say that Kevin does not have his kids' best interests at heart. I find it hard to believe that he wasn't involved at all. He's trying to feign innocent and separating himself from her, said YouTube user Ali Bruni143. At the very least, Kevin should be charged with gross child neglect and abandonment, added the Bell Roberts. Additionally, Ruby Frankie's sister, Bonnie, said on her own YouTube channel, "It was Kevin's job to check in on things, and he did not. Kevin has not been charged, and no statement has been made either by himself or through his lawyer to address these concerns. The review will continue to update the case as it progresses." I put the link to this article down in the description, and there you can also find links to the full plea agreements. This article was written by Matthew Franke. I don't believe he is related. I think his last name is just a coincidence. But anyway, justice does seem to be served here. It kind of sucks that they're going to be eligible for parole in 4 years. I hope that doesn't happen. Personally, I feel like a 30-year sentence is very appropriate for both of them, but that's just me. Before sentencing, they were both given the opportunity to say a few words, and they both took that opportunity. Ruby, she did, at least in my opinion, sound very contrite, very genuinely remorseful. Some people are saying that they thought she was just sorry that she got caught. I don't know. In my opinion, I thought her remorse was genuine. Jabba, on the other hand, I really don't think that she believes that she did anything wrong. Again, that's just my opinion, but there didn't seem to be much remorse in her statement. So as far as I'm concerned, I hope she spends the rest of her natural life in jail, which is kind of mean to say, but you know, who cares? She's a pretty mean person, which is why I call her Jabba. I'm not gonna show those statements in this video for copyright reasons, but I will link a video in the description if you would like to watch that, so check that out if you like. That's all I got for this video. I hope everyone is doing smashingly well, and we'll see you later.
Hey everyone, Drew here from Mad Cat Mysteries, and I hope you enjoyed the video you just watched. If you did, you can click on the subscribe button below. I'd appreciate it. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.